Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. 2022 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series season continues to roll on here on NASCAR Heat 5. We're here for round 6 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Draft influence on high, so it's the first mile-and-a-half and the only mile-and-a-half event of the season where these drivers will feel like they're on a super speedway. The draft will be a key factor tonight in this one. It's already been a key factor in this one. The top 5 have broken away from the rest of the field. 20 cars on track. We're rocking and rolling in stage 1. I'm NOSSCAR CEO Tyler McMurder alongside my two in-race reporters Trey Hollywood and Alex Tesdahl. Kick back, relax, grab a cold can of soda, and enjoy tonight's event here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We are rolling, and thank you to my in-race reporters for joining me. Always fun, always a good time here. Right now, Jesse Carlson's got that Ford Mustang for Brett Baker Racing out front. He took the lead about 3 laps ago from the 24 of Aaron Garcia. And there is Fabian Green rather. I mispronounced that a couple of times the most recent broadcast. We're going to not do it again. He is running in the second position now as he makes a bold move down onto the inside to take second away from Jesse Carlson. They all gave a push to the 24 of Aaron Garcia, and he is back out front. Bull Pluto in the 8 car. He runs in 4th. Matt Smith, the two-time NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion in the 47. He runs in 5th. He's in this lead group. And the second group is being led by Trey Hollywood. Actually, it's the 43 car. Sorry, folks. Yeah, Trey used to drive that car last year. Of course, Trey has since then signed a deal with Timac Motorsports to drive the number 48 Chevy Camaro. So the second group is actually being led by Sean McNutt. Great to have him back here in NASCAR. Yeah, we have a wreck here deeper in the field. We're going to try to find it, and I believe the 34 car of Rush Downing was involved, and the 14 of Beam SKP, the Daytona Beach 500 winner, driver out of France, he was the one who went for a solo car spin. No caution coming out for that one, and he's going to lose the draft with that second group that's still being led by Sean McNutt.
I think there is somebody on pit road. I don't know if we have a going engine or not.
Yeah, we're going to check on that here and momentarily. Fabian Green in the 42 car has just taken the race lead. Lone Wolf Motorsports driver. That team, of course, owned by 6-time NASCAR champion Jordan Green. And great to see that 42 out front. And you're right, 2-time NASCAR Super GT Series champion Bill Baldwin is stopped and motionless on pit road. It appears he is done for the day. Didn't see what happened to him. That's a heartbreaker. 162 lap race. Stage 1 is 51 laps in length. These drivers will need to make pit stops if it goes green the entire way. And even if we do get a caution or two, I don't think that we'll get enough caution laps in those 1 or 2 cautions for them to safely make it on fuel or tires. So expect at least 1 pit stop no matter what happens here in stage 1. And that second group is getting a little bit closer. The top 5 cars have been really battling hard for the lead, and it's really allowed the drivers from 6th on back, being led by Sean McNutt in the 43 and Trey Hollywood in the 48, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 18, that they're coming to the front. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 car scored a 9th. He had to start at the tail of the field. He started in 19th position after missing qualifying. Terrell started 20th in the 7 car. He's right there with him. Alex Tesdahl, one of our in-race reporters and Triple Crown winner here in NASCAR. He scored an 11th. Jordan Roughton in the 2 car right there with him in 12th. The pole sitter, Harold Burden, he's running in 13th. And Trenton Krentz a moment ago bounced off the wall, and that's how he lost the draft with this 7-car group. And there you see him, 2-time NASCAR World Champion from Gran Turismo Sport. That is Trenton Krentz, one of the very best to ever race on Gran Turismo games. And since then, he's come on over to NASCAR Heat games in NASCAR, and he's done a great job. He's found victory lane in the NASCAR Legends Series, and of course, he won Mid-Ohio earlier this year to find victory lane, rather, for the very first time in his Platinum Cup Series career. wherever he goes, he seems to win within a short period of time. There's Sean Lucas in the 21. Long-time NASCAR driver. Back NASCAR 15 is where he started. He's currently scored in 17th. And they're all chasing Fabian Green. And I feel like a moment ago, the top 5 cars, they got organized a little bit there for, I don't know, 3-4 laps, and that allowed them to kind of stop the ground that was being gained by that second group and kind of put them on halt. But now they're going back to battling as Aaron Garcia goes for the lead, and he's going to take it. And here comes that second group, and now it's being led by Trey Hollywood. And for the first time in this race, the number 8 of Bull Bluto is going to take the race lead for Rockstar Racing. 4 different teams here are up there within the top 5 and battling for the race lead, and that second group of cars is really not too far behind. Throwing it over to in-race reporter Alex Tesdahl. Alex, you're running in 11th. You just lost the draft there a moment ago with the second group, but you weren't the only one. Is there a chance you could group up with anybody else back there and make a run at these guys, or are you kind of just cruising and hoping for the end of the stage to come around?
Kind of looking for the end of the stage or the yellow, whatever comes first, but might be able to look up those 2 and stuff like that if they get to race.
How important is the draft? Describe how much slower a car is on their own out there versus, 4 or 5 car pack.
It's very similar to if it was drafted Daytona a year ago backwards.
Wow. That is wild. What an aero package we have here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We saw something like that earlier this year in the 2022 real-life NASCAR race where it was all about the draft. William Byron going on to win that one, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like it's a very similar story here for this one here tonight. NASCAR Platinum Cup Series event on NASCAR Heat 5. The draft influence is on high, and it feels like Daytona out there. Throwing it over to Trey Hollywood, our in-race reporter, driver of the number 48 Chevy Camaro. He's got Jeffrey Robinson Jr. and a teammate, Josh Colombiez, and Terrell in the 7 car there with him. You're trying hard to keep with the top 5 cars, and every now and then you guys are getting closer, but then it looks like every now and then you lose them by a few car lengths. How is the struggle out there, and what is the biggest struggle for you trying to run down these top 5?
It's not honestly not a struggle right now. I think the 18 car knows what I'm doing. I'm taking care of my tires and just steady staying with them. I have their draft just a tad bit, so I think he gets what I'm doing. I don't want to get to the point where I'm getting too close and we get ready to pit stops are coming up soon, and then there's a wreck. So I think they know what I'm doing. I'm just steadily keeping where I'm at. My car feels good. I'm glad I practiced this week because I'm able to know what I can do with this car even on worn tires. So I'm good right now.
Do you think the top 5 wore their stuff out a little bit more than maybe you and Jeffrey and Josh did?
I think so. The only reason I say that is because they've been racing each other, trying to pass, not really kind of like just drafting with each other. And me, the 18 and 9, and I'm not quite sure who that is behind the 9, but we've just really just been riding in the line. And I think they get what I'm doing. So I think they have been, which is going to cause them to just really use their stuff more. Excuse me.
I like the call. I like the strategy unfolding here. It's the 7 of Terrell behind the 9. You are running 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And you're right. They are still battling for the race lead up front. All 5 of these drivers in this lead group have taken turns leading laps, and now the 42 of Fabian Green gives up the race lead, comes down pit road for scheduled service. He's the very first car to do so, not only amongst the front runners, but everybody in the field. And now we see Beam in the 14 car for Brett Baker Racing. He's coming to pit road for scheduled service. Emily in the 11 car on pit road, full-time NASCAR Outlaw Series driver on Wreckfest. Oh, and now pit road is a very busy place. I'll be very surprised if Josh Colombias didn't get a speeding penalty coming to pit road. He really had to use a lot of brake trying to get that car wound up. Aaron Garcia, Bold Pluto, Josh Colombias, Trey Hollywood, Terrell in the 7 car, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., they're all coming to pit road for service. There's Harold Burton in the 16 car, pole sitter for this race. He was shocked, actually. Talked to him a little bit before this race. He was shocked that he was on the pole for this race. He wasn't as confident as some of the other drivers about his speed for tonight's Atlanta race, but he started on the front row and on pole for this one. Led a couple of laps and then dropped back mid-pack and kind of rode around to save his stuff. There is some strategy unfolding when it comes to saving your tires and fuel. Jordan Roughton in the 2, he was on pit road as well with these drivers. I didn't mention him though. He's down and away and leaving, as is Sean McNutt in the 43. Alex Tesdahl stayed out to lead a lap. Now he's on pit road. Matt Smith in the 47, Jesse Carlson in the 6, they're leaving pit road. It's going to be very interesting to see where everybody cycles through, because if you short pit, you usually gain some track position on the cars around you. And there you see Aaron Garcia in the 24. He's going to be much further in front of Jesse Carlson and Matt Smith than he was before the cycle of pit stops, and it's because of that short pit strategy that he used. Bull Pluto runs in 2nd. Fabian Green runs in 3rd. Matt Smith runs in 4th, and I believe it's Josh Colombias running in 5th. It is, yes, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. running in 6th. The 48, Trey Hollywood, runs in 7th. Jesse Carlson scored in 8th in the number 6 for Brett Baker Racing. Terrell in 9th. And Trenton Krentz rounds out the top 10. That's after the first round of scheduled pit stops, and this coming in stage 1. Throwing it over to Alex Tesdahl, one of our in-race reporters. Alex, everybody's safe to make it to the end on the fuel and tires now?
As long as you don't overcook your tires, everything should be.
Oh, and we have a crash. Jesse Carlson got into the back of the 48 of Trey Hollywood. Heavy front end damage for the 48 Chevy Camaro. Oh, and that is a heartbreaker. He was up there in the top 7. I didn't see exactly what started this. Let's throw it over to Trey to find out.
He didn't give me no room. He just basically stunned me. Oh, it seems like he was trying to push me, but it was the wrong place to do it in the turn, and it just collected me.
Oh, man. And that is a shame. The good news is it's early in the race, so you have all the time in the world to rebound. The bad news is that just cost you a whole heap of stage points, unless we maybe get a caution to rack things up before the end of stage 1. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Man, that is a heartbreaker, and that just goes to show the viewers how quickly things can change for a driver here in one of these NASCAR races. You can't blink. And Rush Downing in the 34 is going to go 1 lap down to your race leader, Aaron Garcia. Fabian Green still runs in 2nd, and right behind him is Bold Pluto, Matt Smith in the 47 running in 4th. And I actually wanted to take a bit of a closer look at that car. He's got some front end damage, the 2-time NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion. That might be hurting the performance for him a little bit. But the fact that the draft influence is on high rather than normal, that might actually be helping him. Might be helping him stay right there behind these cars a little bit more. But I have no doubt that a driver of his caliber would potentially be able to do it anyways, even if the draft influence were on low. He's right there running in 4th. And if these 3 cars can stay lined up bumper to bumper, I'm pretty sure that they might be able to run down your race leader, Aaron Garcia. Fabian Green, 1 NOSSCAR Motormaster Series win in his career, and he's only made a handful of starts. He shocked the world jumping into the Kansas race of the 2022 Motormaster season and parking it in Victory Lane that night. in the number 0 car. Quick update for you. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. scored in 5th. Josh Cole-Diaz right there in 6th. Terrell runs in 7th. Jesse Carlson, despite the contact with Trey Hollywood, runs in 8th. Very minimal damage to the front end of the Brett Baker Racing number 6 Ford Mustang. Jordan Roughton scored in 9th, and your pole sitter Harold Burden rounds out the top 10. Trenton Krentz right behind him in 11th. And remember, folks, the top 10 in Stage 1 and Stage 2 receive those stage points. So if you're Trenton Krentz in the 20, you're definitely trying to plan a move to pass at least one of these 2 cars, but if not, maybe both of them. And good news for your race leader, Aaron Garcia. They have begun battling a little bit for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and that's allowed the progression for that 3-man band to slow down a little bit. In fact, Aaron's opened up the gap a little bit this lap, but the bad news for him is the driver with the freshest tires is now leading that pack of 3 cars, and that might actually be a bit of a speed difference. They might be able to run them down before the end of this stage. We'll throw it over to Alex Tesdall. How many laps to go in Stage 1?
It'll be 11, maybe 1.
Yeah, we're getting there. It's going to be close. I don't know. Trey, I think they're going to get there, but I don't know if they're going to get around them. And even if they do, they'll still have another, I don't know, 2 laps, 3 laps for Aaron to try to make a move back. I think they'll get to him with about 3 to go. What do you think?
I think so. If they work together. I mean, he's known for using up his stuff. He's my teammate, and I told him multiple times, but he's known for using it up. So they possibly may, if they work together to get to him, I think they have enough time. And with that, if they get past him, it's going to be hard even with the 2 laps. If they have 2 laps left to get back, for him to get back by. But he's made moves, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't see anybody else in front or behind that's going to factor into this. No lap traffic that they're going to catch before the end of Stage 1. And no packs of cars behind 4th place that are close enough to run them down. It's really going to be between these 4 drivers for the Stage 1 win here at Atlanta. 4 different race teams. And I just realized all one manufacturer. Jesse Carlson, the fastest Ford Mustang for Stage 1 anyways, in terms of track position. He was up there in the top 5 most. He's dropped back. Jeffrey Robinson Jr., arguably the class of the field for the Toyotas. He's running in 6th. He's dropped back out of the picture for the Stage 1 win. And we've got 4 Chevys, 4 bow ties up at the front. Going to battle it out for this one, and now the gap is closed down. It's only about 2 car lengths separating Aaron and Matt. The 2022 NOSSCAR truck champ, Aaron Garcia, that 24 car, he's got his hands full now. He's there. He thought about putting the bumper to him in turns 3 and 4. We've got under 10 laps to go. Can he make a move on him before the end? Matt's got about a 2-lap fresher tire advantage. It doesn't sound like much, but it really might be enough. And here he goes. He's got a run, and he's going to use it. He goes to the inside as they go into turn 3. Pluto went high in the 8 car. He was trying to help Aaron instead. Now he's going to duck back to the inside. We've got a crash on the back straightaway. This could bring out a caution. Terrell in the 7, Harold Burden in the 16, and Sean McNutt in the 43. All 3 of those cars were involved. And yeah, somehow we stay green, but they're all still near each other on the racetrack, so I don't know if that's over yet. Back to the bottom goes Aaron Garcia. He's trying to take 2nd place back from Pluto. You can't win the stage from 3rd. I think you need to be in 2nd and try to make that move on the leader on the back straightaway, but time will tell. They're running out of time. 5 to go in Stage 1. And if I am mistaken, correct me anytime on the lap count.
Actually, 6.
Thank you, 10-4.
Coming to the line is 5.
It's very tough. I find my accuracy is pretty close, and sometimes I hit the nail right on the head, but yeah, and thank you for correcting me. I do appreciate it. 5 to go. And now Fabian Green into second in the 42. This is really a high-speed chess match. The bottom line is the preferred line. If you can get a good run, that's where you're going to go. And if you can get alongside him going into turn 3 preferably, you should be able to clear him before you even come out of turn 4. Matt Smith, the leader, Fabian Green in second, and now he's going to go to the outside. Matt tried to block him, but then he had to block Aaron Garcia. Now they're 3 wide. 4 laps to go. Aaron's going to take the lead. Fabian Green's going to be in position to be in second. Matt's going to get the big run down the back straightaway on the outside, but again, the bottom line should prevail through 3 and 4. Pluto, it's decision time for him. He's going to go to the inside and push the 42. They're coming to 3 laps to go in stage 1. Aaron Garcia led that lap by, oh man, like a front splitter, guys. Oh, and now the defending Platinum Cup champ, Matt Smith, went way high there in turns 1 and 2. He's going to lose a lot of momentum, and he's actually going to drop back into 4th. They were 3 wide there for a moment for 2nd and 3rd, and that allowed Aaron Garcia to take the lead back and get single file and get in clean air. 2 laps to go in stage 1. They're side by side for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And again, that is exactly what Aaron Garcia wants to see in his rearview mirror. Matt Smith giving a push to Pluto up on the outside. Fabian Green is actually going to lose 2nd and 3rd because of that. And that's the first time, I think anyways, amongst the front runners, we've seen a bold pass like that on the outside line. And now the white flag being shown. Pluto is all over the back bumper of your race leader. Oh, and he got a big push from Matt Smith, and I think it actually might have hurt the 8 car a little bit. He went way up the hill in turns 1 and 2. Aaron Garcia really defending the bottom. Matt Smith had a big run, and he forced Matt to have to try the outside line for the stage 1 win. They're coming up to a slow car. That's Rush Downing in the 34. I hope he gets out of the way. Coming to the start-finish line, Aaron Garcia in the 24 is going to win stage 1, and it was not by much. Matt Smith 2nd, Fabian Green 3rd, and Bold Pluto in the 8 car in 4th. I believe Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in 5th, but we'll throw it over to our in-race reporter, Trey Hollywood, driver of the 48, to get the top 10 for you. And don't forget to pit, though.
Black Cross 1st, Flash 2nd, Fabian 3rd, HMS 4th, Juicy J 5th, NASCAR Oof 7th, NASCAR Kings, Oof 6th, NASCAR Kings 7th, PC Panthers 8th, Bubba Hollywood 9th, and Shadow 10th.
Perfect, thanks buddy. Don't forget to pit and make sure you get that photo as well for me.
Gotcha.
Awesome. What a battle for the stage 1 win. And if that's what the battle for the stage 1 win looks like, I can only imagine what the battle for the race win at the end of all this is going to look like. Alex, how was stage 1 for you in that 17 car?
Went smooth.
You should have thought of battle for 10th.
Yeah.
Me and Shadow was battling for like 7 laps door to door. Oh my god.
Battles all over the racetrack out there. It's a 20-car field, 18 of them left on the racetrack. We are rocking and rolling. Stage 2 here at Atlanta. Round 6 of the 2022 Platinum Cup Series season, 5th annual NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series season. Started back on Heat 3. Here we are on Heat 5. It's the 2nd season for Platinum Cup on Heat 5. And they're 2 and 3 wide going into turn 3. Oh, there was contact. Jordan Roughton slid up into Jeffrey Robinson Jr. Jeffrey bounced off another car, and I can't believe they all held on to it through there. Great driving. they're still trying to sort out about 8th on back, but about the top 7 or 8 cars, I'd say the top 8 now, have gotten single file, but they're still bouncing off each other. Harold Burden is around. The 18 of Jeffrey Robinson Jr. was in the wall. We had another car facing the wrong direction. That was Jesse Carlson in the 6. And we have our first caution of the race for an on-track incident.
That was quite interesting, if I may say so myself.
Yeah, Rush Downing got a piece of it as well in the 34, and it just looked like the level of urgency picked up. I think everybody saw how important the draft was in stage 1, and we went for a long green flag 51-lap run. So I think some of these guys were worried to lose the draft with the lead pack and have to spend the rest of the stage trying to stay on the lead lap. And yeah, they were 3-4 wide trying to get track position, and there was just, I don't know, ran out of real estate.
Yeah, I didn't see it all, but it looked wild in the mirror.
I don't think it started with our pole sitter Harold in the 16. I think he was an instant victim, but nevertheless, he got a big piece of it. 18 cars left on the racetrack. We are green. Alex Tesdall, Sean Lucas, your front runners. And the inside line, they won the drag race on the restart, that's for sure. Oh, they're still 2 and 3 wide from about 7th on back. We got a big wreck deep in the field. Jesse Carlson, Rush Downing, and the list is about 10 cars long, folks, and we have another caution here in stage 2. And I'll be honest, this is helping some of the cars that are deeper in the field and trapped 1 or 2 laps down. 3 passers are being handed out.
Yeah, the 42 car clipped the apron, and it was around from there.
Yeah, that's a tough break. See, there's a lot of fast cars that were caught up in this one, and many of these drivers will be coming to pit road to repair these cars, perhaps put 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles on. There are no limited sets of tires for this one. Excuse me, I should say there is no limit to sets of tires here in this one. Alex Tesdall and Aaron Garcia front row for this restart. Alex has led about 10 laps in this one. Matt Smith right there with them. We are green again in stage 2. Seems to be the inside line that's the place to be on the restarts, at least for the first couple of corners. After that, it's pretty much dead even. Matt Smith's going to go to 2nd. Jordan Roughton, Bull Pluto, they're going to try to go with him and go to 3rd and 4th. Trey Hollywood is down there as well.
I'd like to let you know that Rockin' Lunatic is back on the lead lap.
And that's great news. Long-time NASCAR driver, started with us back on NASCAR 15. He's a NASCAR Outlaw Series race winner on Wreckfest with us. He drives the 34 car, and he's at the tail of the field right now. Just got the free pass back on the lead lap. Oh, deep in the field, Sean McNutt in the 43 lost control. Came down and made contact with one other car. I think it was Emily in the 11, but she made an amazing save over there. All these cars are still pointed in the right direction and rolling. You can see Rush Downing playing it very smart there, lifting a lot. He's got a clean race car right now with no damage, and he's on the lead lap. He doesn't want to get involved in anything back here and jeopardize that. Fabian Green, he brought out the first caution and caused that 9 or 10 car wreck. Hit the apron, spun in front of a lot of good, fast race cars. He's working his way back through the field. He's running in 12th. Just outside of him is the Daytona 500 winner, Beam SKP, driver out of France. 2 truck wins in his career as well. And Jeffrey Robinson Jr. back in the top 10 as well, former NASCAR champion on Supercross and NASCAR 15. Jordan Roughton just got put into the wall in the number 2 Ford Mustang. I think it was by Jesse Carlson in the 6 machine, and those are teammates at Brett Baker Racing. There's a lot of fast cars in this race, and a lot of them had problems early, and they're all rebounding at the same time, and it's very interesting to sit up here in the broadcast booth and watch it all unfold and see how evenly matched they all are. Terrell in the 7, Fabian Green in the 42, Jesse Carlson in the 6, Harold Burden in the 16, Alex Tesdall in the 17. They all had issues at some point or another in this race, and they're all recovering all at once and driving back into the top 10 together. Matt Smith leads, Trey Hollywood in 2nd, Aaron Garcia in 3rd, Josh Colin-Diaz 4th, Terrell in 5th. Timac Motorsports cars running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and now there goes Trey Hollywood looking for the lead on the inside line. Trying to keep the 2-time Platinum Cup champ trapped on the outside with no help. And perhaps bring the teammates with them. Fabian Green just made a nice move to the inside of Terrell for 5th place. And the one thing I've noticed about this restart that's different than the other restarts, especially in Stage 1, the entire pack is still very tightly bunched and grouped together. They all have the draft with that lead pack. And I've said it for years, folks. If you are in the draft with the leader, it doesn't matter if you're in 3rd or 23rd, you've got a shot to take the lead and win. And Trey Hollywood led 2 laps and then got kicked to the outside by his teammate Aaron Garcia, left the door open just enough, and now Timac Motorsports controls the front row. Brett Baker Racing Machines right there in the top 7, and Lone Wolf Motorsports cars running 4th and 5th. And this is awesome to watch. Alex, driver of the 17, asking you a quick question here. You're in the top 10, you've been the leader, you've been in 15th, you've been all over the place. What's the vibe like out there? Describe this action.
It feels like a full-blown speed race, crazy. It's kind of fun.
No doubt. Trey, how you feeling out there?
I'm feeling good. We'll have to have a conversation with my teammate after the race, but I'm feeling good. You know, I opened up the door for him to come through, and then he just moves me out of the way. And I told him in practice, this is what we're going to do. We're going to work together. No, he just kicked me to the high side.
Yeah, he's always got his own plan, eh? Oh, yeah. Sorry to cut you off. 4 wide. Alex Tesdall, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Harold Burden, and a few others got involved. Trenton Krentz and others. And I think, yes, we do. We have a caution on the racetrack for the 3rd time in this one for an on-track incident. Alex, buddy, we'll throw it down to you because you were involved. You got slammed by somebody. I didn't see who. What happened there?
14 moved up the track into me and got in the side of the 18, and it just killed us both and a few others. Yeah, I hate it for that 18 car. I tried to keep it off him, but not much I could do.
Yeah, I saw that. That was. I know that somebody came up into you. Yeah, that's a shame. Again, I said this to Trey, the good news is it happened early. Lots of time to recover. The bad news is it cost you a great track position. We'll have to see how it all goes here. We're going to have how many laps to go in Stage 2?
I'll let you know in just a second.
10-4. I should have asked a little bit sooner because it tells you for your pit menu. I'll get better here. Aaron Garcia, Josh Colin-Diaz lead him to the line. We're back green in Stage 2.
28.
Oh, man. So, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that everybody can make it to the end from here if we stay green on fuel and tires.
Maybe like 1 lap short.
Oh, man. That's going to open the door for... Somebody's going to try it. That's the thing, and it might be Harold in the 16. We'll have to see. They're 3 and 4 wide, so we might not even need to think about this very much longer. It's Josh Colin-Diaz out front in the 9 car, the first time all race long that he has led laps. Great run for the 2021 NOSSCAR Legends Series champion. That's the thing about this series, guys. Many different champions from many different platforms, race winners, you name it. They all come here to the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series to try it out and make that run for the championship. And they don't really care if they if they do really, really well, or if they struggle for the first while and improve as the season goes along, they know they're racing against other former champions and drivers that are considered best of the best of their craft. It's always fun to watch. And for the most part, it's kind of calm and casual here for the top 6 cars. It's 2x2 behind them. Sean McNutt in the 43 just slipped up into the side of Bull Pluto a little bit. That's the battle for 7th and 8th, or it was. Pluto's going to give up a couple, maybe get away from that 43 car for now. Matt Smith, Alex Tesdahl, they're working the bottom, trying to get back to the front. The race is still being led by Josh Colm-Diaz, Aaron Garcia, Jesse Carlson, Trey Hollywood, and Terrell, your top 5. Fabian Green, Sean McNutt, Matt Smith, Alex Tesdahl, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. rounding out the top 10. And 2 winners earlier this season here outside of the top 10. Trenton Krentz won at Mid-Ohio. Team SKP in the 14, he won the Daytona 500. So far we have had 9 different race leaders in this one, if I have my math correct, and math has really never been my strong suit. Calculators have been one of my better friends. But yes, 20 car field and 9 different race leaders, and we're still in stage 2 with 25 laps remaining. It's been a high-speed chess match, to say the least. The draft has been the key factor. We saw the urgency pick up at the beginning of stage 2, and these drivers started running 3 and 4 wide like it was the last lap. It sparked a little bit of a rash of cautions there, but now we seem to be back on the right track. I think everybody does see what they need to do now, and they got a bit of a feel for their cars. Some adjustments might have been made, and now the top 14 have broken away in a long line, and there's only a couple of battles 2x2 in it. Oh! Alex Tesdahl got a bump from behind by Fabian Green, I believe, and then he came back down and made contact with Jordan Roughton and Sean Lucas, and they are crashing in the infield on the front stretch. We might see a caution from this, but as of now, we are still green. Oh, let's throw it over to Alex. Alex, what happened, buddy?
18 came up before he was clear.
Oh, man. And that is not like him at all. Jeffrey in the 18, long time NOSSCAR driver, former champion with us, actually. And yeah, big mistake there, and it cost a few drivers very dearly. Alex in the 17, Sean in the 21, Jordan in the 2 got a piece of it, and somehow we still stay green. Josh Colm-Diaz just led about 9 laps there, and now his teammate Aaron Garcia makes a move to the inside. He won stage 1 by just about the front splitter over the 2-time Cup champ Matt Smith. Now he takes the lead here in stage 2, brings Jesse Carlson in the 6 car with him. Terrell in the 7 joins these guys up in 4th. We were just talking about Jeffrey in the 18, and honestly, he's been the victim of things like that many times over his NOSSCAR career. I'm sure that he is very apologetic and sorry at this point, and he's running in 5th. And we just saw a huge slip-up by Aaron Garcia in the 24 car. He loses the lead to Jesse Carlson, and now he's in danger of losing 2nd to the 7 car of Terrell. That was wild. He actually almost went up and tagged the wall in turns 3 and 4 that last time by. I don't even think he led the lap. I think Jesse Carlson in the 6 car beat him in the drag race to the line there. That was pretty scary for Aaron in the 24. Couple of cars trying the outside line, maybe trying to get it rubbered in a little bit so they can make those kinds of moves in the final stage. Jordan Roughton, Trey Hollywood, Sean McNutt, Beam SKP. These are some of the cars that frequently have been going up there and trying to rubber it in and maybe see if it'll work. Fabian Green in the 42 as well. But for the most part, It has been a bottom feeder style race, especially on the restarts. You really do want to be lining up first, third, fifth, seventh on those restarts, it seems anyways, and that's at least for just the first two laps. I think after that, it's very even Steven, and it's kind of a drag race, and it's very even at that point. Sorry folks, I got tongue-tied there. A couple of cars bounced off each other up here in this top 10 battle, and we have a new race leader, or at least I thought we did for a moment. Aaron Garcia tried to make a move on Jesse Carlson. He shut the door, stacked up the field a little bit, so a few drivers went to the outside to try to make some moves instead of potentially running into the car in front of them. And now some of them are getting freight trained to the back of this group. Jordan Routon, Matt Smith, the two in the 47 that are kind of getting shuffled to the back, and now the two of Jordan is the only one up there in this front group. Under 20 to go in stage 2, and at this point it's very much a high-speed chess match like it's been all race long. These drivers trying to position themselves where they want to be with about 5, 10, 8 laps to go. So that way when it really starts to ramp up for the stage 2 win and for those top 10 stage points, it's a little easier for them instead of having to rally all the way from 13th. And Terrell in the 7. Nice move by him. He was able to get underneath the 24 of Aaron Garcia, take over second place, and a very smart move there by Aaron to get in line really quick in front of his teammate Josh Colm-Diaz. In fact, two teammates, Trey Hollywood in the 48, he's right there as well. There might have actually been some teamwork there to get the 24 back in line. And if you are just joining us on YouTube, it's round 6 of the 2022 NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series season, 5th annual Platinum Cup season hosted here on NASCAR Heat 5. It's a 20-car event, 18 cars left on the racetrack and competing still. And some of the fast cars are actually not on your screen in this group battling for the Stage 2 win. Drivers like Alex Tesdall, your pole sitter Harold Burden, and others, they have lost the draft. They were involved in an incident. So now they have to do some... Oh, and we have a big crash there. Matt Smith was involved. Sean McNutt in the 43 car, and that is going to draw a caution.
What happened?
Oh, man.
I'll tell you what happened.
All right.
The guys who was leading in the front are trying to save fuel, so they just kept brake checking the field. And just kept checking everybody up, and that's what caused that.
Well, that makes sense, because I was going to say, it kind of looked like Matt Smith just drove into the back of the 43, but I know he would never do something like that, and he very rarely makes mistakes like that and does it accidentally either, so I was really wondering what happened there, and yeah, thanks for clearing that up. Some fuel conservation by the leaders, and it was causing that domino effect. And honestly, guys, this is... How many laps to go in Stage 2?
I think it's going to be like 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah, this changes everything. Some of these drivers are going to try something for track position on these pit stops. You got to figure anyways. Maybe not. Jesse Carlson and Terrell are going to be on the front row for this restart, and it's going to be a short sprint for the Stage 2 win. This is where it gets crazy. I think one more caution, and they're going to call it the stage. Jesse Carlson has the lead, the 24 right behind him. That's Aaron Garcia. Josh Colm-Diaz looking for his first win of the season. He's got 3 Cup wins in his career. And looking for a Stage 2 win, perhaps 3 laps to go if I'm not mistaken. And the draft is so powerful here. I really do think that Aaron can make a move at any time he wants. I think he just wants to make sure he makes it at the right time and he gets the inside line rather than the outside line. How many laps to go, guys?
5 to go.
Awesome, thank you. 5 to go in stage 2. Jesse fought hard to try to keep Aaron from getting underneath him, but he had no choice but to give up the bottom. He was there, and he was going to wreck them both if he fought any harder, and he did the right thing. Drove just that perfect amount of level of aggression, if you ask me. And now Aaron's going to take the lead in the 24. Josh Colombiez in the 9 is going to try to take over second and bring Fabian Green in the 42 with him. Jordan Roughton in the 2. Brett Baker Racing teammate to Jesse Carlson. He went up to the outside to try to give him a hand. And then tucked back down on the bottom. Now Juicy J Motorsports Toyotas. In the 20, Trenton Krentz, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 18. They're running 6th and 7th. They're right there in this battle. 4 to go.
3.
3 to go, rather. Yeah, they click off quickly. And Jordan Roughton's going to clear Jesse Carlson to get into 4th. Trenton Krentz is going to take over 5th. Honestly, I do think that Jesse's going to drop back to the 7th place position, and he does. And underneath Josh Colombiez for second is Fabian Green, and that was huge because now Aaron Garcia has no line of defense from Fabian Green and Jordan Roughton if they're able to run him down and take the lead. Make a move on him. They're coming out of turn 4 now to see the white flag. The next time by, they will see that green and white checkered flag to signal the end of stage 2. Half a lap remaining. I don't think Fabian is close enough to do anything. In fact, he's got to play defense and keep Jordan Roughton behind him. He had to go all the way down to the yellow line in the back straightaway before they got to turn 3. And coming out of turn 4, Aaron Garcia is going to sweep the stages at Atlanta. Fabian Green second, Jordan Roughton third, Josh Colombiez in 4th, Terrell 5th, Trenton Krentz in 6th, Jesse Carlson in 7th, Matt Smith 8th, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. 9th, and Beam SKP rounding out the top 10. Now we're getting into the long haul, folks, the long stage, the final stage of the event. Throw it over to Alex Tesdall. What's the plan? What's the strategy for this long stretch?
I think just try to keep it smooth and stay in the lead pack till the end is the best way to do it.
Trey Hollywood, same question, but I'm also going to add this. Do you think there's going to be any sense of tire and fuel strategy in this one?
Oh, and I didn't pit.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Yeah, sure. Why not? This is my fuel strategy.
Yeah, I was going to say there is now.
Oh, I'm just going to run it and hope a caution comes out.
Oh, there very well might be. I don't know what to say. That's a shame, buddy. We are green. Final stage for the 6th race of the season. Trey Hollywood leads some laps here, and Emily up there on the front row for the restart as well. And she did some strategy here, getting some good camera time. Driver 4, Juicy J Motorsports. 3 and 4 wide, in and outside the top 10. Oh, they were wiggling there. Terrell goes through the grass on the front stretch. He and Josh Colombiez made minor contact. They all made it through. Aaron Garcia is going to hold on to the lead. Jordan Roughton jumps to second. And you can see how hungry these drivers are. Many of these drivers have been racing in NASCAR for 3-4 years, some of them even 5 years since the very, very beginning. and a much more clean and calm restart here in the final stage than I really expected. And right when I say that, Terrell got loose right in front of Josh Colm-Diaz. They bottlenecked up. Jordan Roughton Rex comes back up onto the racetrack, and everybody misses him just barely. And I think we might stay green, and if we do, that's going to really hurt his finish here. Oh, the 48 just got out of control. He saved it. The 8 car wiggled even worse behind him. He saved it. There was contact between the two. I think that the 8 gave him a shot, and that's how the 48 wiggled. And the 21 of Sean Lucas is getting challenged by Sean McNutt, and they bounced off each other a moment ago. And this is getting wild. Some of these drivers making some very aggressive and maybe even questionable moves at times. I don't know if the 43 should have made that 3-wide move, especially where they were on the racetrack, and it was a miracle they all held on to it through there. That doesn't matter what position you're in. You're in a battle here, it seems, in this one. Up front, still Aaron Garcia, Terrell, Jesse Carlson, Matt Smith, Josh Colm-Diaz, your top 5. 7 cars are broken away from the rest of the field. You can add Fabian Green and Trenton Krentz to that list, and that is your front group. Alex Tesdall leads a pair of cars running 8th and 9th. Just behind him, it's the Daytona 500 winner, Team SKP. And that second group of cars running 10th on back, if they can get single file, they might be able to run down the front runners before the end of this race. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. goes way high, and he's going to lose 10th place to Trey Hollywood as a result. Yeah, there's 6 of them in this group running 10th on back, so they might be able to work together and run them down. Emily right there in 15th, Rush Downing running in 16th. They're not quite close enough to be in the draft with this group, so I think they are just going to keep losing ground here. Some of these drivers really do need a caution to get back into the game. New leader up front, as Alex Tesdall mentioned, and Terrell in the 7 car. Power move around the outside. He's going to take it, and Jesse Carlson's going to settle in line into second.
I'll correct you on that. I think he actually pushed the 24 up the hill.
Ooh. Well, that would explain why Aaron's running 5th now and playing a little bit of defense. Fabian Green was trying to make the outside line work. Is it possible the outside line has kind of come in a little bit here, guys? I'm seeing more moves done up top.
If you get enough cars up there, I think you can do it.
It does look darker up there. Trey, what do you think?
I actually feel like because when the 24 and I were side by side, I was actually able to slow him down by like kind of side drafting him a little bit. So the top line definitely does work.
Yeah, I think you're right. I really do think that it's darker than it was at the start of the race. And oh, no, that's fine. I saw the same thing. And we were just talking about how Terrell just drove up there and took the race lead and used the front bumper to do it. And now he's found the outside wall, some front-end damage to that machine. And he's fallen back just in front of Alex Tesdall there, and I believe that's the 7th or 8th position. 7th, yeah. The good news, though, it's 1 extra car back there to help with the draft. I think that might actually connect all of these cars up into one group here if they can keep on pushing the way that they are. If Trenton Krentz could get hooked up at Terrell and Alex Tesdall and the car just behind Alex there, which I believe is Trent, no, it's Beam SKP, they might be strong enough. They might be able to run down this top 5 group. The longer the run goes, eventually mistakes will be made one by a different driver every time, and it'll cost them a spot in the group that they're in, and that will shake things up as we go. Every group is going to slowly lose cars and become less quick as we go along. Right now, the group that's got the most cars in it is that second group. They're running still 10th on back. There's still 6 cars packed up there. A lot of laps to go in this one. We do know we're going to see scheduled green flag pit stops here if we keep going the way that we are. There's only one car in front of the leaders that they're going to need to deal with anytime soon. That's the 2 of Jordan Roughton for Brett Baker Racing. He's been a front runner all race long, so it's a heartbreaker to see him driving around there with all that front end damage and in danger of going one down. To the bottom goes the defending champ, Matt Smith in the 47, going to take the race lead and put that number 47 Lone Wolf Motorsports Chevy out front. And it's a smart move for Matt to make the move now instead of waiting a little bit. He's going to get the draft from this lapped car just for a little bit here, and it's going to allow him to get a bit of extra speed and pull away, even just for a half a lap. And it'll open things up a little bit, and those back 3 or 4 cars in this line will need to push even harder to not lose the draft, and sometimes it throws them off guard, and they lose the draft with the leader. For example, I think that Trenton Krentz might be a victim of that very thing. Oh, never mind. Maybe he was lifting trying to get Jordan Roughton in line with him. I'm not sure. But he's about 4 car lengths behind the driver in 6, Trenton is. There you can see the yellow and black car. The gap in between he and the red car. Fabian Green in that red car. It might be large enough for Trenton to lose the draft. And that's exactly the thing I was talking about. It can catch you off guard, a lapped car in front of the leader like that. And yeah, it does appear that the 2-time world champ, Trenton Krentz, is going to lose the draft for the top 6. He's still pushing really hard, and they actually all just bottlenecked up in front of him a little bit. So he closed the gap by about 2 or 3 car lengths. But if they can get organized, I really do think they're going to drive away from him, and Trenton will fall back into the clutches of Alex Tesdall and Beam SKP. And that'll leave the top 6 out there to battle for the lead and for the win. Terrell is starting to fade just a little bit. He might be in danger of losing the draft, but what would be now the front 4. And this is exactly what I was talking about just about 10 laps ago, Trey. The longer the run goes, eventually these drivers will begin to make mistakes one by one, a different driver each time, and it'll shake up the way the whole field looks and how fast each group is. It's almost to the point where nobody's really out of it, especially the longer the run goes. Sorry, you were saying?
Well, I'm definitely out of it, but but yeah, it definitely plays a part, a major part. I really am glad that we ran high draft. It makes it fun. The only thing it takes away is just, of course, everybody's trying to protect that low line at the bottom. You know, you can see them trying to protect it and run that straight line instead of giving up the inside because you're just going to get free trade.
Exactly, yeah. I couldn't have said it any better myself. This will be the only mile and a half that we do see this aero package and this car package for, so it's a very unique broadcast, a very unique race to watch and be a part of out there, and it seems like everybody's taking a liking to it. It's definitely unique, it's definitely a little bit different, and I'm sure that it's maybe not even the favorite package for some of these drivers, but some of these drivers were super ecstatic about this, so a mixed bag of emotions about it, and everyone doing the best they can to go on out there and win this thing. Right now we're being led by the 2-time and defending NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion Matt Smith, the driver for Lone Wolf Motorsports, Aaron Garcia, Josh Cole-Diaz, Jesse Carlson, and Terrell. The rest of your top 5, we're going to crank it up, folks. Grab the volume knob, turn it way up. We're going to listen to the sound of these cars, the engines here on NASCAR Heat 5, and ride on board with some of your favorite NASCAR drivers. and go on ahead and crank it back down, folks. And we are going to resume commentary for our flag-to-flag coverage of Round 6 2022 NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series season here at Atlanta Motor Speedway on NASCAR Heat 5, 5th annual Platinum Cup season. And after a round of scheduled green flag pit stops here in the final stage, at the end of it all, Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 car will resume as your race leader with Aaron Garcia running in second, but I don't think that Harold Burden in the 16 is yet to pit. I'm not too sure. We're going to throw it down to Trey Hollywood to find out who the current race leader is and exactly what's going on.
Yes, the 9 car is your leader. 16 car has pitted. He stayed out about a lap longer than everybody else and pitted afterwards.
And how many laps remaining?
24.
Perfect. Thanks very much. And there you have it from in-race reporter Trey Hollywood, driver of the number 48 Chevy Camaro for Timac Motorsports. So sitting 4th in the point standings coming into tonight, 3rd or 4th, but I believe it's 4th. And Josh leads the race here with teammate Aaron Garcia right behind him, and now Matt Smith and Terrell have both run them down. The top 4 are all grouped up together with Fabian Green in the 42 not too far behind him, and he's got a couple of dancing partners. Harold Burden in the 16, first car 1 lap down, and Jesse Carlson in the 6 car. I think that he's on the lead lap, and if he is, then he's up there running in 6th place and has got a shot to win this thing still.
Incorrect, he's in 6.
Okay. And what a recovery for him. We talked a little bit during the broadcast about all the drivers that have had issues in this race that are trying to rally back, and he is one of them. Here's a battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th, if I'm not mistaken. Trey, you'll be able to confirm. Trey Hollywood in 7th, Jeffrey in 8th, and Bold Pluto running in 9th.
No, I'm in 8th. GC's in 9th.
Oh, so Beam is scored in. Yeah, all right. See, there's another driver that I didn't think was on the lead lap due to earlier problems. Great recovery for the Daytona 500 winner, Beam SKP. Driver out of France and the only French-born driver to have a victory in the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series as well as the NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series. And now they're all there.
Luck on my side.
Oh, you're not the only one, but I do definitely agree with you. There are a lot of strong cars that definitely need a caution or something to catch them back up to the race leaders and give them another shot at winning this thing again. That includes Trey Hollywood, Bold Pluto, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Alex Tesdall. There's a lot of strong cars right here running from about 7th on back that would really love to see a yellow flag. And until then, it's a 6-car battle for the lead and for the win with 20 laps to go at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Josh Colm-Diaz continues to lead, and I think that these drivers are going to need to make a splash-and-go pit stop near the end of this race. They might even be taking right-side tires. There could still be...
late in the cycle might be able to make it.
And who is that? Sorry, the 42?
16 might be able to make it, and a few others who made it late in the green flag cycle.
Oh, wow. See, the thing is, Harold, he might be able to make it, but he's a full lap behind. It might be enough. Even if they have to come to pit road and grab 2 right side tires, Harold might be able to run them down by a full lap, but that'll be close. So Harold is looking for this to go green the rest of the way. Everybody else is going to be very, very close. And that might be why you don't see anybody challenging Josh Colm-Diaz for the lead. They might be content riding behind him in his draft, saving their tires and letting him wear his stuff out. And he's been the victim of that before. Gets lots of camera time, leads the most laps in the race sometimes because of it, but then gets burned at the end. Happened at Darlington to him once. Felt bad for him. But he's looking good. If he can make it the whole way, or if everybody can't make it, then he's got the best track position of anybody. It's almost difficult to take it too easy Because if everybody ends up having to pit, or if everybody can make it and you don't make it, like, you know, it's just, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on here, too. This second group, no patience being shown. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. now leads the group. Alex Tesdall with a bold move to take the position from Pluto. Beam SKP was the driver in front of everybody in this pack, and now he's dropped back a couple. Sean McNutt in the 43 car. He's driven up from about 5-6 car lengths behind and caught this group, and now it's a 5-car pack. If they can stay lined up single file, who knows? They might be able to run them down. And they put a lap on Trenton Krentz in the 20, the two-time NASCAR World Champion. He also won at Mid-Ohio earlier this year, so he's already locked into the playoffs, and he's the current points leader, the driver of the 20 for Juicy J Motorsports. He's in this group. So is Harold Burden in the 16. They're the two cars in this group that are one lap down. And they're just kind of tiptoeing, trying to make it to the end and have a front row seat for whatever unfolds here. Under 15 to go. We'll get a confirmation of how many exactly to go from Trey Hollywood shortly. Josh Colm-Diaz still leads. Alex Tesdall has got our back, and 13 laps to go. They're coming around to 12, and this is where urgency picks up, folks. This is where the nerves and the adrenaline, this is where it all picks up. When it's 10 to go, and you're in the pack up there battling for the lead and for the win in one of these NASCAR races. Man, I've done it for years, and so have you guys. You know how it feels when you have a shot to win and you can feel it. You can feel it all the way through your entire body, that you know you can drive your car up there to the front and win this thing. It's an adrenaline rush, and I guarantee you 6 of these drivers have that feeling right now, butterfly feeling.
43-minute late lap in the pits.
Oh, and that's Sean McNutt in the 43. Evidently could not make it the entire way, and choosing to come to pit road now and get service rather than maybe run around a slower pace and still not make it. So we might be able to leapfrog some cars here that don't end up making it, that are maybe pushing lighter. 3 wide up here. Under 10 to go, and we are rolling now, folks. Now we got ourselves a race. Jesse Carlson made a big move to the outside. Josh Colm-Diaz lost the lead. He was stuck in the middle. Matt Smith, the two-time champ, takes the lead. Aaron Garcia stuck up top in the 24. Fabian Green's got a run on the bottom with Terrell in the 7. They've got a lap car in front of them. It's Jordan Roughton in the 2. He's already 1 down, and he's about to go 2 down. One of the faster cars in this race, too, so it really is unfortunate to see. He got caught up in an incident earlier, lost control, spun and hit the wall on his own, so no caution was called, and since then he's been kind of riding around with a lot of damage and no hope of getting any track position back unless he gets yellows. Matt Smith leads. Fabian Green right there in second. And he's no stranger to victory lane in the 1.5 miles here in NASCAR. He won the Motormaster Series race at Kansas, that 42 car. Fabian Green did. Terrell in the 7 car. He won races with us back in the 2018 NASCAR Truck Series season on NASCAR Heat 2. Made a return not too long ago to NASCAR, just a few races ago in Platinum Cup, making his Cup debut. Won a stage in his debut race, got a top 5 finish, and firmly established himself as a threat for this championship, and he's firmly established himself as a threat for this win, too. But we are getting a huge report, a late development here. Getting word from Alex Tesdall, the caution is out on the racetrack at Atlanta with under 10 laps to go.
Oh, this is gonna get wild.
This is, oh my goodness. This changes everything.
So I get away from around.
A lot of drivers, I think, were in danger of not being able to make it on fuel and tires, and it was going to be interesting to see who was going to end up having to pit and who wasn't. How many cars on the lead lap, guys?
11.
We'll have 12, maybe.
Now 12. 13.
Who got the free pass?
Trouble.
Got the free pass.
Trouble.
Steven took a win round. Don't know about behind them.
I don't blame them. They have the fuel and tires now to the finish. They're just going to be off the pace a bit, but that's the risk you take for getting back on the lead lap. Now they need another quick yellow to get up there and take fresh tires. Green flag is out. Matt Smith, the leader, under 5 laps to go. How many to go?
4.
4 to go. Oh, and they're crashing. Beam SKP got into Josh Colm-Diaz, and Sean McNutt hit the wall hard on the back straightaway. The inside wall, we're still green. Coming around to 3 to go. Some of these drivers getting very loose up here. Oh, Aaron Garcia gets to the inside of Fabian Green. That's for second. He clears them, and I really do think Fabian cut him some slack there to get in behind him so they could be single file and try to run down the leader. I think Fabian's seeing the bigger picture here, and he wants to win this thing and not finish second or third. 2 laps to go. Terrell is in 4th. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. is all the way up there in 5th. Jesse Carlson is in 6th. Alex Tesdall in 7th. The Daytona 500 winner, Beam, is in 8th. And Rush Downing in the 34 has spun. We stay green. Emily has charged her way up inside the top 12. Sean Lucas in the 21 up there in the top 10. Josh Colm-Diaz has faded back to 9th. The white flag is in the air. And the battle for the lead and for the win right here. Aaron is there, all over him. Matt Smith really defending the bottom. They're heading into turn 3. The only way this is going to work is if he can get to the inside, I think. Matt forced him to try the outside, and that's going to be the race-winning call. Matt Smith for Lone Wolf Motorsports wins here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Aaron's going to finish in 2nd, and Terrell in the 7 is going to finish in 3rd. What a race. 20 different drivers entered this race, and we had 12 or 13 different race leaders. It was anyone's race from start to finish, and as the race went along, mistakes by certain drivers, some drivers were innocent victims in circumstance, and we had attrition here and there, and it filtered down to only about 6 or 7 of them at the end until that last caution, and then everyone was back in the game. But at the end of it all, the 2-time and defending Platinum Cup champ Matt Smith parks it in victory lane for his 35th career Cup win in NASCAR. Make sure you get photos of the results for me, bro.
I already sent them to you.
Oh, you're wicked. Oh, and can one of you invite Flash in here so that way I don't need to go to a blue screen for the viewers?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, you can do it.
Thanks so much. Whew. What a race, man. What a finish. We'll kick off some post-race interviews with the in-race reporters. We always do. We'll start with Alex Tesdall, the driver of the 17. Up and down day for you, my friend. You were back in 15th, 16th, trying to stay on the lead lap with that front-end damage. And then you drove all the way up into the top 5 at one point. You led laps at one point. Where did you finish? And tell us about your day.
Yeah, it was one heck of a roller coaster day, but yeah. Kept the car clean in the final stage and brought it home 6th. Had a little bit of a dogfight with my teammate, the 6th car, but kept it mostly clean, and yeah, good race.
What would you say was the biggest challenge for you and for everybody else as well there tonight?
Probably sticking with the lead group and not burning off the tires.
No doubt. Honestly, it looked like that from our perspective in the booth here as well. Thanks a bunch for joining us here for a post-race interview, and good luck to you at Canadian Tire.
Thanks.
And we'll throw it over quickly to Trey Hollywood. Trey, driver of the 48 Chevy Camaro. Strong run for you. Spent most of the race up there in the top 10, but then a mishap at the end of stage 2 really put you behind the 8 ball for the final stage. Where did you finish, and describe your day for us?
Yeah, the day was pretty good at 48 car. I was having an issue with my window net and forgot to pit, and from there it was just downhill. I was hoping that I could rebound. I actually possibly could have rebounded if that I was where I should have been when that caution came out, but it's okay. Good points day, good run for my team, and I'm pretty overall happy with how the car ran. It just sucks because I love Atlanta, but it's all good.
You show great speed start to finish. Best of luck to you at Canadian Tire and the rest of the way this season.
Thank you.
And to victory lane we go. And folks, I don't think we've conducted more interviews with any other driver in victory lane for Heat 5 races than this man right here. Two-time and defending NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion Matt Smith, and one of the very best to ever race on the Heat games. Parks in a victory lane at Atlanta, 35th career Cup win for you. Congratulations, buddy. It was an up and down day for, honestly, not only for you, but all 20 of the drivers, really. Usually we're talking about you battling for the stage wins, and you were nowhere to be found for the stage 2 battle at the end there. But you rally back in the final stage. Tell us about your race, and tell us how you were able to drive from mid-pack back up there to the front in the final stage and win this thing.
Well, I mean, it was really fun, to be honest with you. That high draft really made it, put you on the edge of your seat. There was a lot of really good racing going on. Yeah, stage 1, there was some battling, there's a lot of, letting some guys back in line. We had a good finish to that stage, and there's a couple different times in stage 2 and then the last stage where you're kind of split between some guys trying to save some tires, maybe an extra lap of fuel, and some that weren't, and then a caution would come out and the field would flip a little bit with some guys trying to press forward. But yeah, 43, I think he caught the apron and looped himself right in front of me, and I couldn't avoid him. That's what put me in the back, and I gotta apologize to Bubba. When I was coming up through the field, I was trying to shove him best I could, and he slid up, I think, in turn 3 one lap, and I had so much momentum that I kind of went up underneath him, shoved him up, so I apologize for that.
It's all good.
But yeah, I was working with the 6, the best I could there, but just tried to find a way around the Hendrick cars, and I think the 9 had a slip up and took the momentum around the 24, and then I was just driving the hell out of it from there.
We saw a very clean stage 1. In fact, it went green for all 51 laps. Then we saw a rash of cautions to begin stage 2, 3 and 4 wide, crazy racing there. And then we went back to a level tone. Did you feel like the level of urgency and the level of adrenaline and excitement from these drivers was ramping up as the race went along?
Yeah, stage 1 was very good. I thought, everyone was even giving each other room under green flag pit stops. I don't know what happened with the yellows in stage 2, if it was just incidental or some guys being too aggressive, but I mean, with the high draft, as long as you kept a good line, guys were gonna slip up and get shoved out, and you could pick them off pretty good. You just gotta be patient as best you can. It's even if you mess up or you're not over aggressive, you could still ride it out and get a really good finish. I was just in position near the front, to pounce, and then it was just protecting the bottom from there. A great restart helped me. 24 had a battle with the 42, and it let me get away to where I only had to protect for the final half lap. I know the 24 is looking to get under me any chance he gets, so I was glad to have some breathing room while I had it.
Yeah, I think you made the right move there, made him try to go high, and I don't think that's the preferred line going into turn 3. I talked about that a couple of times during the broadcast. Final question for you. Do you like the idea of dedicating 1.5 mile race per year to the super speedway style aero package?
mean, I really couldn't tell a whole lot of difference between this and normal draft.
Yeah, fair, yeah.
I think the high draft just gives some guys an opportunity to try to slingshot around the outside. Because normal draft, it doesn't pick up the speed enough in the cars to really give you that run to the outside. Whereas tonight I felt like, some guys had a chance if you could hold that line well enough up there. There's only a couple guys who really had any success, but other than that, I had a lot of fun. Actually, took me 3 years to win this Atlanta race. I've been so close the previous 2 years. I don't know why I remember losing the previous two so well, but I'm glad to have won this track finally.
You did it, buddy. Career win number 35 in your Platinum Cup career. Congratulations, and good luck to you at Canadian Tire.
All right, thank you.
And that was the two-time and defending NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series champion Matt Smith scoring another victory here tonight for his number 47 Lone Wolf Motorsports team. And folks, that's going to do it. Round 6 is in the history books for the 5th annual NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series season, hosted here on NASCAR Heat 5. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to Trey Hollywood and Alex Tesdall for being such wonderful in-race reporters. And from all of us here at NOSSCAR, we're saying so long, and until next time, stay fast, folks.